For whatever reason, I'm not able just to drop the link in the chat. So I'm gonna try to drop the link again so my guests can come on. Yo, this is live TV. So sometimes things don't go according to plan. And sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches. Hopefully my comments are showing up now. Let me see. Okay, I think they are. But let me go ahead and hit y'all with the intro real quick, and then of course I'll be right back, y'all. What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And as you see, I am trying to figure out what the hell is going on with the link right now. I know I was talking about people that don't show their face, but I don't want to go all cockeyed and stuff like that, so I'm just going to do the circle of death real quick. Hold on, y'all. We're going to get this together. Don't even trip. What's up, everybody in the chat? Hopefully y'all are doing good right now. Now I see what you guys are talking about when you guys say, like, oh, I can't see, when I text you guys, you'd be all like, oh, I didn't get the link. And I'll be like, what do you mean you didn't get the link? I keep sending you guys the link, but now I understand what you guys mean by it. Okay. There we go. Okay. I went ahead and pinned it up to the top, and then I'll go ahead and take it down. Okay. There we go. Hold on. Let me show my face. Hold on. Let me make sure no boogers in my nose before y'all see my face. Hold on. What's up, Maria? What's up, Andrea? What's up, Mina? I seen Queen, Wendy. Shout out to my mods, Sunshinery in the building. Miss Joelle, I was talking to you earlier. What's up, Tenneke? All right. We got everybody up in the building. So I wanted to go ahead and give a proper introduction. I know it was kind of wonky and everything like that, but I told you this is live TV. But I appreciate Save Robbie for even doing this interview. It was kind of like a thing, like I seen him around, didn't really know who he was, and then got an opportunity to check out a few of his videos. And then I was like, you know what? I want to interview this guy because sometimes, and you guys been seeing a lot, everybody is doing their investigations and they got all this stuff going on. And sometimes we need to break up that drama with like something positive. And like I thought it was cool, like his story with sobriety, and then he's in the true crime and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be dope to have him come on. So without further ado, introducing for the first time on Talk the Real Deal with AT2, Save Robbie! Oh, your mic.
I was on mute because I was drinking coffee.
I told everybody, we live, baby, we live. How are you doing?
Hi, everybody. I'm doing good. I was telling you, I ordered some Grubhub. I was like, yeah, I'm going to have a Frappuccino beforehand. Nope, it never came. So I got some, my aunt made me some coffee.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Oh, thank you, Curly Girl. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super sticker. And yes, I was gonna say also, I think it's so cool of like what you do and how you connect with your subscribers and stuff like that. Can you tell the people a little bit about your channel?
Well, it's like a hurricane. I actually, I didn't have a channel. It was about 3 years ago because I remember you were texting me asking me, how did you get into true crime? And I'm like, oh my goodness, that is a long story, but I'll try to put that in a nutshell. Basically, the short version is I had a channel just for music that nobody cared about because, music is music and everybody likes their own thing. And
right. It's hard being independent.
Well, yeah. And it's just a hobby for me. Like, that's just whatever. And Molly Golightly was like, your music sucks. And you should have like a separate YouTube channel, because she saw me talking and stuff. And I was like, what am I going to talk about? And so I like the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I didn't tell anybody at the time that I was struggling with alcohol and the gateway. It was more the gateway of alcohol, like leading into meth, which was the
Wow.
main thing. And so I named my channel Save Robbie because vlogging was starting to like kind of steer me away from that and giving me something to do. And then the whole Chris Watts thing happened. I live like 20 minutes away from the house. And I had a friend, Patrick, that knew, do you know who Trent Bolt is?
Yes.
He's like, yeah. Well, he knew him, and long story short, he kind of filmed a secret video of him kind of lying, so to speak, to Ashley, that Banfield lady from the news. And I gave it to Molly Golightly. And then from there, it just kind of sucked me into it because he was letting Trent stay on his couch, my friend. So I didn't even know what the Chris Watts case was, anything like that. And then it kind of sparked my interest.
Yes, because those are some of your like most popular videos, the Chris Watts. Like, what was your thoughts on it? Because I kind of kept up with it, but then I seen it was the Netflix special that I actually seen recently, and I was like, yo, the video of him like when his neighbor is playing the video, and then like he's just kind of there, and like he knows like he fucked himself basically, and then like that whole interaction was crazy. What are your thoughts on that whole case?
Well, that case has brought a lot of angry people onto YouTube, and you know, because everybody has a different opinion on it. And I like kind of go because I'm a believer in Christ and my intuition and the voice inside and stuff like that. Even though I'm gay, people are like, how could you be gay and be a Christian? Well, it's very possible. But going to that house, when I went there, I don't know, I just got a feeling of kind of the opposite of what everybody else thinks. And that's why I don't really talk about it very often, because it could be offensive. But I kind of believe the first confession, if you know what that was. Just by going to the house, you just get this weird feeling. It's kind of like a paranormal feeling too. Freaky.
And they haven't sold that house either, right?
No. Hey, Aunt Sally. Hey, Lufa. My Aunt Sally in your chat is the one that made me the coffee.
Oh, okay. What's up? But yeah, the house hasn't been sold at all.
No. And I feel like that also, just like with, that's why because I'm not a true crime channel. And a lot of people I feel, in my personal opinion, like Summer Wells, for example, and this new Gabby Petito, I kind of I don't watch a lot of it and stuff, just because it's kind of becoming the new Chris Watts thing. And then you begin to wonder, do people actually care about what they're talking about in the case, or are they just doing it?
Yes, this is what I be talking about. Like, I feel like there's so many cases that are out there that people, it doesn't get the recognition, and you know, people kind of hop on this trend, and it's all like, wait, do you actually care about this person? Are you doing this for like a click and a view? Which I guess technically anytime you do a YouTube, you're doing it for a click and a view, but like where is the heart, where's the compassion? Because like there's a situation where 2 boys in California are missing, and they're still missing. It's been since December 21st, and Oren and Orson West, and like I was covering it, but it became a lot because people are putting misinformation out there, and then you got people messaging you trying to give you misinformation, and it's just like it's a lot that goes into this stuff. You know, can you agree with that?
Yeah, and obviously it's very apparent that you can just, because I know there was a point where I was putting Chris Watts in my title, and it got to the point where I was doing it with another creator, Mexi, and it was almost like, why are we still doing this? You know, it's almost like you're doing it because the people are coming and viewing, but there's other things to talk about, and you're going to have to move on, and you're going to have to get used to your, you know, because you see your views go up when you're talking about something. And then when you stop, it kind of goes down. You're going to have to let it go down and just find something else to talk about.
It's almost like you have to train the people to move along with you, because they'll try to keep you in this bubble if you don't. And thank you, Jenny, for the super chat. I appreciate that. And you know, what I was thinking of is like, how have you made that transition into like, okay, people want to pigeonhole you and only put you in this. And especially when it comes to like the drama and stuff, people want to pigeonhole you and only put you in that sector, and they don't want to let you grow. Like, how do you kind of rise above that?
Well, the way I look at my channel is like a Facebook or social media. Like I talk
Hmm.
about anything and everything. And sometimes there is like, you tuned in the other night when I was talking about something a little bit, dramatic.
Thank you,
And
Sally.
there's some, I love you, Aunt Sally. Um, there's some things that you want to address publicly, but there's a lot of things people don't realize that happen that you just never talk about because everything, in my personal opinion, if somebody has a problem with you, I always try to reach out privately because this isn't like that's not what I want to make my content is bickering back and forth and screaming and yelling, but it has been my content plenty of times. So
Right.
it just depends on the situation whether you rise above it or not, and it's all about swallowing your pride. And there's a lot of times my mouth can go like this.
And we're human. I think people don't realize that we're human. Like, like, yeah, for the most part, I can be like, what, yeah, whatever. And then it just might be that one day I might be having a hard time. And like, I'm all like, you know what? I'm going to give you what you want. And then I just let it all go. And then that's when it happens. But sometimes I do believe like it is best to ignore. Definitely, I agree with the majority of the public. However, sometimes you just got to be like, you know what, enough is enough. And if this person wants this is what I'm going to say. Because sometimes when you try to let it go, rumors fester and it'll just keep bubbling and bubbling. But like I said, at the end of the day, we're human, and nobody's just going to let you talk trash about them and not respond.
Not only that, but I think a lot of people don't realize like you having a channel, anybody who has a channel, I have a career outside of YouTube. I have a life. And what happens when you get these channels that form groups of people to go after people is they may not have the intention of going after your job or whatever it is, but the groups of people that they're getting angry and stirring up and stirring up bad
Right.
stuff about you is dangerous because people do contact jobs, family members, all that stuff. And I mean, it does go into your real life. So it gets kind of
Right.
dangerous
I
sometimes.
I actually had a lady, and thank God I don't live at that address anymore, but I feel sorry for the person that does. She actually was in a group chat posting my old address and like did the Google shot of it, of above. And like it was just all like, what would make you hate me? And mind you, I had no idea who this lady was, but like you said, it's not necessarily the content creator, it's the
Mhm.
psychos that might be following behind them, get them stirred up, and then they do the crazy stuff. And it's all like, yo, you got to say something like, hey, don't be doing all that extra shit because you're going to get me caught up in something I don't want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And people can
I've
get
even
hurt.
had absolutely. And, you'll have a channel creator saying, you guys, I don't want you to go after these people. But then they proceed to like get these people angry to the point where they want to go after you. And it's scary. Like, for example, a few years ago, like I think 3 years now, me and my
Hmm.
ex broke up. I called my aunt on April Fool's Day. We broke up. I was like, oh my God, calling everybody. They're hanging up on me because, they didn't believe me. They thought it was
Yeah.
April, pulling an April Fool's joke. And me and my aunt, I moved in here. We love each other. And I don't know if you know who Mommy Ramblings is. She legit did a walkthrough online of my house just
What?
because, and I'm like, what the heck are you doing? Yeah. So that alone kind of, because you are a leader by having a channel. So when you're talking, you have people that believe you and kind of follow what you're doing.
Right. Right.
That's why I
And
try to be careful, cussing people out because then other people get mad and go to other pages and cuss them out for me, which I don't need. But
right, exactly. I tell people, don't be windmilling for me. I can windmill myself. And that's why when people say, like, oh, your little closet over here, yeah, I'm happy in my little closet. I don't need to show you nothing else in my house because you crazy weirdos, like, get the hell out of here. But I wanted to talk about your sobriety. Like, what you kind of talked a little bit about it, like it was something else, and then that's kind of like, because it was like alcohol was leading you into other things. Can you talk about that a little bit?
yeah, so I'm still having issues completely putting alcohol away. and
Hmm.
cigarettes. But I used to like binge really hard. And about a year ago, I was quarantined a couple of times. And so I was drinking a lot. And then, of course, that made me go on binges of other things and gateway stuff. So finally, I reached out to my employer and I told everybody. Like it felt good. My channel name was Save Robbie, but people didn't know really the true meaning behind it. And so when I
Mm.
finally told everybody, everyone online, my family knew, some of my friends knew. Um, I got it out and I was sober for and completely tobacco, everything free for 355 days. And during that 355 days, people that hate me they don't like anything I say. And I talk about my sobriety all the time. They were making videos, trashing me, either saying I'm lying about it, saying that I'm still drinking, whatever it was, like tons of different stuff. And I
Right.
had a snapping moment just from everything adding up in real life and on here. And I freaking drank on June 13th. I got loaded and you've probably seen the videos, maybe.
Yeah, I seen
I
your
cussed
video.
everybody out. Yeah, I cussed everyone out. I was like, yeah. And I said some mean stuff. And of course, in that moment, the people that didn't like me, they still use it against me, months later. So then I quit again for 2 months, and now I'm still learning to like put it down. But I use my platform to talk about it openly
Right.
so that other people can talk about theirs. Um,
And
but
it
it's
keeps you
progress. Like,
accountable too when you tell
mhm,
people.
absolutely. And I do like that I relapsed in June. I do like that I have drank since then a number of times, but I've milked it and kind of tried to do it in more of like, oh, I'm going to do it in a calm way instead of drowning my emotions. But even that doesn't work for me. So I still talk about that openly. And of
Right.
course, you're going to have the haters being like, you're never going to stop drinking and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're only helping me. You're motivating me to want to prove you wrong.
Exactly. And you know what I think too? Like, thank God you're open about your struggles and being like, hey, I might have slipped up here and there, but I'm back on my journey because it is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight like that. You put it down and be like, okay, I'm never going to do it again. Like, it's a journey. And so, how is it like how I feel like sometimes people play, well, not sometimes, people use your sobriety as a weapon against you, you know? Like, that's why I was so
Yeah.
nervous to say, like, hey, I need to seek a therapist because people are going to be like, oh, AT2, you cuckoo crazy, you know?
Yeah. Well, and they also, I can say that's why I talk about it openly, because even though I still have drank here and there, I've made so much progress with not binge drinking and not like
Hmm.
going hard and making it a gateway. So it's like, I wish that I could just quit completely, but it's, you teach yourself and you kind of make yourself sick of stuff. And when you do it in front of other people and you're open about it, you make yourself vulnerable to people making fun of you or whatever. And
Right.
that's kind of helped in a way. It really has kind of helped
And was it
because you want to prove people
socially?
wrong.
Right. Was it socially or was it just anytime you felt like needing a drink, you did it?
Well, no, it was always in my spare time. So it wasn't like
Okay.
I drank every day or I was an alcoholic. My problem was when I would get upset and hurt, I'd be like, I'm going to buy a 12 pack. And I drink the whole freaking 12 pack. And then, you make stupid decisions when you're drunk.
Right.
But yeah, socially, I was the person that everybody else would be like, okay, good night. I'm going to bed. And I'd be like, the party just started. Let's get some meth. So, you learn, just for example, I just got back from San Francisco seeing my friends, and I decided to have some cocktails on the plane and some cocktails at dinner. And there was a point in the night where we were debating, should we go to karaoke? And I thought, even in that moment, I'm like, this is where I need to draw the line because karaoke
Yeah.
means it's
You had to
party
think about it.
time. Hmm. So
I,
it's just, still learning.
right, right. And speaking of that, you did recently visit California. It's so funny because like as soon as I seen you were in Modesto, I was like, oh, I used to live in Modesto. And then like you were in San Francisco. Like, how was your trip to California? Like, what was it all about? Can you tell us?
Those are all people from YouTube that I've met over the years. Every single person that I hung out with, there was 4 good friends. And my friend Nicole, she wanted to surprise Iris, who lives in Modesto, and we surprised her. she asked me to go on her panel. So I had my camera off and I was talking to her. I was like, hold on, sorry, I'm shopping and blah, blah, blah. And then we bum rushed her at her house. She had no idea.
That was so awesome. I actually got to see the reaction video and stuff like that. That was so cool that you guys did that. And you can make actual friends on YouTube. Like, it is possible. I'm still kind of like in that stage where I've been hurt and I'm all like, I can't trust nobody, but you have actually made friends. Like, how do you decipher who's like a friend and who's like an acquaintance on YouTube, or are you still learning?
I think you know this because you've probably experienced this too. There'll be people, look, there's people that I talk to, you get their phone numbers, you hang out, you go meet them just like I did. And then there's some people that they'll come in, they'll be a part of your community. And then all of a sudden you don't see them around anymore. And then you'll see them talking trash in other chats. You're like, what? Wait a minute. I put my email up all the time if anybody ever has a problem. And then that's when that's when I need to work on my anger, because I see that and these people don't want to communicate. And then I'm like, well, fuck yeah, and just start cussing everybody. So it's hard to decipher. It's hard to even decipher if somebody that, and unfortunately, there's a lot of good people, but you don't know if they're here for good intentions or not. Because some people will want to get nice, so you moderate them or whatever, and then they start doing mean stuff to your channel and to you.
Right, because I was all like, maybe I should just reach out to this guy and see if he'll do an interview. But then I was like, I don't know. He'll be like, oh no, I don't know you, or like what it is. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a risk and I'm gonna ask him like, hey, you want to come on the show? And like, you were nothing but nice to me and everything. So I definitely appreciate you for coming on and everything. Just being open and like not being all like, okay, well, you can only ask me this question, that question. Like, he told me I can ask him anything. So y'all in the chat, I thought that was really cool that you took that risk on me, because like you said, like it's still a learning process trying to figure out who you can trust, and like you try to keep open communication and it just sometimes goes to shit.
Yeah. And then what's really interesting is you'll wake up one day and go into YouTube and all of a sudden you'll see your face or a video or your name. And there's these people that have never spoke to you, and they're like, we're exposing this person for who they are. I'm like, you don't know who I am because you've never spoke to me. What are you talking about? And they'll take a clip from like when you're really mad or something, but they won't show anything else. And that's what's really confusing to me. I don't understand.
Right. Oh, someone asked, how is Carol?
She's good. She's sleeping over there.
Oh, okay. She's in the back.
Carol's my hamster. Yeah.
Yes, it's his hamster.
but yeah, no, I saw your name pop up because like you said, we kind of had that same run-in with somebody on here that I don't even know this person. I tried to contact BX. I tried to, reach out to him and stuff. And it's like every day it's something really negative about me. I'm like, I wonder what I'm going to learn about myself today. So I try not to click on his videos. Hey, Brandy.
It's funny because, and let's go ahead and get into it, because from what I'm understanding, you never had like an actual like friendship, acquaintanceship, or anything like that. It was kind of like one day you woke up and seen videos about you. Because with me, it was kind of like I was doing like videos on Katie Joy and stuff like that. And so, he does that as well too. And so we kind of intertwined. He was in my chat and I was like, oh, that's BX Beast Boy. And you have to remember, I was just starting out. I've only been doing this for a year. And this was back in December. I was just starting out. So when you see somebody that you like, and like admire, you're all like, oh, this person is cool. Like, I want to kind of like, try to get as much information as I can. And, you kind of look, I hate saying look up to this person, but when you're starting out new, it is what it is at the end of the day, And so I was like, oh, this guy seems really cool. And then like, there was something like he didn't like an interview that I had with, or not an interview. I was on the Katie Joy channel. He didn't like it. And so then we kind of stopped talking. And then there was a situation where I was going to quit YouTube. And I was all like, yo, this is not worth it, because some ugly stuff was going on. And so he came on my chat and was telling me like, you don't quit. I've been giving you encouraging words. I've been helping you. Da 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 da. And then he does like 3 videos about how I was sad fishing and that, you know, I was trying to get sympathy and super chats and stuff. And I'm all like, wait, you literally came up on that show and gave me encouraging words just so you can do a video about me? Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not the only one that has had that kind of run in, but it's funny that you haven't had any, but he still did videos about you. You know, like, do you know what it is about you that gets to him, or?
Well, he thinks I'm a terrible, horrible person. He actually, I didn't know who he was until the day after I relapsed on June 13th and I cussed everyone out. And I literally went on a live binge. I think I went live 7 times that night and just gave it
Mhm.
to everybody. And so, of course, you know, the next day, that's when I saw, of course, people were going to clip those moments because they were bad. And he
Right.
started it from there. Um, and a lot of people don't understand too is when there has been times when I've come on here drunk and screaming, and so they'll hold that against you. And I know that that's not who I am, but other people, it's like he keeps, when I look at his channel and when I've ever clicked on any videos, I don't see the reflection of my true self that I see every day and that I know who I am. And so I
Right.
reached out to him privately after he made, God, I don't even know how many videos. Um, and I said, hey, I noticed you had a problem. You want to talk about it? No, you false struck my channel and blah, blah, blah. Here's what I think about, you know, copyright and stuff. I think it's
Right.
great to use other people's content or even clip their videos to show stuff, but he was doing it in a hateful way. And so I did strike his channel a number of times because he was using my content for like false reasons
Yeah.
and making me look
Slander,
terrible. And
basically.
exactly. And so, of course, he kind of did what he did to you. Robbie is being a crybaby, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but you're not. The thing is, it's all about communication. And I think the reason he turned me down to kind of work things out was because I look at his channel and I see the videos he has on me and he's getting views from it. And that's why he doesn't want to make amends, in my personal opinion.
Right. Right.
And then
Right.
I did
It's
go up on his panel one time and he wasn't letting me talk. And so I snapped and I was like, you know, cussing him out, calling him names and stuff.
right. And the
Which was
thing
mean, but
is that he'll take that moment and like chop it up. And he's very smart. I will say he's smart about this. Like, he'll have a live and it'll just be a regular live. He'll go ahead and private the video, right? I'm gonna put y'all up on game for those of you who don't know what he does. He privates the video. Then he goes in, chops it up, screws it up where it's saying like you eat monkey shit, right? And so you're doing this video and you know you didn't say you eat monkey shit, but he done twisted it to say you eat monkey shit. And so he's playing the video that he chopped and screwed, and then he's over on the side talking like, oh yeah, you know, I told this guy and you look at him, he's acting a fool. And then the whole video you saying monkey shit, monkey shit, monkey shit, but you said a whole bunch of other stuff besides monkey shit. But he
yeah.
is very strategic, and I noticed what he does and stuff like that. Because that clip that where you went on his show, you know, he replays it, and like I said, he chops it up and screw it the part where you're cussing, and then he's laughing, so it makes you seem like you're just like this angry drunk, and it's all like, well, no, it was more than what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and it's very simple to work things out, but that's the problem with YouTube, I guess, is there's some people like that reality TV type drama, and I think he likes to keep that going. Just because, and it's frustrating because I don't think he realizes by calling himself, you know, Fang Gang and whatever. I understand they have some things where they like to work for justice and whatever, and that's great, but it's a gang mentality to where you're going after people that you don't even want to talk to. That's what's frustrating to me, is you want to keep making videos but you
Right.
don't want to talk about it. So that's frustrating.
And you never done anything to where he shouldn't have a conversation with you or anything like that. So that, I think that's also the frustration as well too. And I was just
Mhm.
thinking as well, it's weird for someone who has never had an interaction with you, excuse me, to be giving like commentary. Like it is weird because like I see my name in videos and stuff like that, and I'm like, wait, I don't even know this person, like why are they talking about me, you know? Like I ain't, you know, I'm not a big shot or anything like that. But it's not necessarily, you know, giving criticism, like, because if I do something ridiculous on camera, I don't mind if people talk about it, but it's like if it's like slander, or if it's like some kind of hatred, then I'm all like, okay, I can't rock with that person. Like, is it that you just don't want people to talk about you in general? Like, you can't take criticism, or it's the way people go about it?
Oh, it's the way they go about it. Because obviously, I mean, there's tons of people. Of course, people aren't going to like me. They're not going to like you. They're not going to like a lot of people. I don't care about that.
Hmm.
But when you try like man to man, go to somebody and say, hey, what's the problem? And they don't want to work it out. But then they go back. He goes back on his channel and makes it sound like he's evil and crazy. I'm like, wait a minute, dude. I gave you an opportunity to have like a civil conversation. And here you
Right.
are repeating it, putting it on, just recycling all of it. And they'll recycle moments that you even apologize about. I've apologized, of course, every time I've snapped, I've apologized because, of course, it's being a jerk. And they'll replay it over and over and over like it's a brand new thing that just happened. It's like, dude, we already talked about this.
Right, exactly. Well, let's talk about the interview. But before we get into that, like, what was your relationship like with Molly Golightly before that whole interview happened? Because you did say like she told you like don't do the music thing, move on. So was she kind of like a mentor to you?
She's like a big sister, and as far
Mm,
as because what I've seen and experienced with her is she treats her channel like a business, you know, and I don't. And she's given me a lot of tips on how to, you know, keep my channel going, or here, don't do this, don't do that. And that's great. But we're completely different. Like I use it for vlogging. I don't rely on my channel for money, even though it's monetized, because if you can get monetized, you should.
why not?
Um, yeah. So we talked a lot. We're just like brother and sister. We bickered and stuff like that. But yeah, as far as her going on his channel, it was really weird because she texted me out of nowhere and she's like, I don't think BX is going to be bugging you anymore. And I'm like, I don't need anyone to defend me, first of all. And she's like, well, I defended you on his channel. I went over there and I'm like, ooh, no, no.
Like to me, it seemed, because I did watch it, because I was like, I want to be non-biased and stuff like that, unbiased. So I was like, let me go ahead and check it out. And like, it was almost like, you know how like when people don't really have an answer for something and they can't explain themselves. Oh, thank you, Maria, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. But they can't explain themselves, so they'll just throw anything out there and try to cover their own ass. That's the way I
Yeah.
thought of it. I didn't think that it really. Um, because it was almost like because that's kind of where the question came, like, do you not like criticism at all? Because she was like, you need haters. Like I tell them, you need haters and stuff like that. And there's a lot of other stuff, but I noticed she had said that, almost like you can't take a joke or something.
Well, I joke like 99% of the time. And the way I looked at it, because she really didn't say anything terrible, but she didn't really
Hmm.
say anything good either, like kind of downplayed a lot of our friendship. And
Yeah, the
my
guy from
problem is,
Denver.
yeah, and my problem is BX is a guy who multiple videos about me. Marissa knows that, my friend Laura makes candles for all of us, like with our pictures on it and stuff to sell.
Hmm.
And BX is a guy who said my candles should be scented beer, Heineken, Bud Light, making jokes about that. And here's my
That
friend on
ain't
his
right.
channel, super chatting him, supporting him, basically saying, oh, Robbie's just emotional. He just wants to be liked. That is not who I am. Like, I don't care if you like me or not, but if you're my friend, there should be some sort of loyalty there. But really,
Right.
what really upset me about her is when she said, afterwards, when I got upset, she went on her channel and said, nobody cares about my sobriety. I talk about it too much. Who cares? Unless I'm dying of liver failure, who cares? Like, how do you
Yes.
think you get to the point of liver failure? Being an alcoholic.
Right. And like you said, it wasn't that the interview was bad or anything like that. It's more, the interview was for her. Let's be honest. It was for her. It wasn't like, to basically clear your name, or her name is the other woman's name is Laura, right? The one with
Yeah.
the candle. Yes. It wasn't really to clear your name. Maybe it should have been somewhere she said like, hey, I can't speak for them. You can go ahead and interview them. But, because obviously she knows the history between you and BX, and so she knew like him asking a question, it was almost going to have some kind of um you know cause and effect, with him asking certain questions and stuff like that. So I just found it kind of weird, like she wouldn't say like, hey, I don't really want to answer for them and stuff like that, more than answering. But then I think also when you did your reaction, she did a reaction talking about your sobriety, and I think that's when it probably went too far at that point. Would you say that?
Yeah, because she's been there off of YouTube on the phone with me the night that I relapsed in June, crying on a video phone call. I've vented to
Mhm.
her. I've cried to her about my own struggles without people making fun of it. Of course, people are going to make fun of you. Look, I grew up in the closet. I was picked on when I was in elementary school for being more feminine and only hanging out with girls. And then when the girls had their girl day, I didn't have any friends to hang out with because they're like, oh no, we're just the girls today. And then I'd be picked on. I can take criticism. I can take being picked on. I have an
Right.
older brother who picked on me all the time. It's not about that. It's about when you have a friend and they know your struggles and then they brush it off as he's just emotional. Well, yeah, I'm trying to get my life into the perfect place. Like Joyce Meyer says, I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. And having
Right.
people like that in your life that are going to, kind of bring you down or make you feel bad about being emotional, then they don't belong in your life, in my opinion.
Exactly. No, I can agree with you on that. I definitely can. And I've had falling outs with people plenty of times, but it's a way you go about it where, something that I am struggling with, or I, tell you in confidence, don't use it against me to hurt me. That's basically the big thing. Don't use it against me to hurt me.
Yeah. And I don't know how you've been on YouTube for a while, right?
Yes.
So you've experienced, a lot of people will say, why are you talking about this publicly? Or, well, because there's some things that are addressed publicly and they do affect you and you want to let people know, what's going on or how you feel. So it is kind of like living in a reality show in a sense.
I've been trying to
And there
get
are
people to
some,
do a reality show with me so we can at least make some real money. But everybody wants to fight and be the leader of the pack, so ain't nobody wants to do that. But
can you imagine getting a bunch of people from YouTube in a house for a reality show? You'd
oh
have a
my
true crime
God.
story after that for sure.
Yes,
Be a true crime.
they're gonna
Hands
need
down.
security. Make sure they got plastic silverware and everything, because we can't have nothing sharp or nothing because somebody.
Yeah.
Oh
And
man.
congratulations, Iris. Today is her #1 day of being sober from.
Oh,
Uh,
congratulations, Iris. And and that's another question I want to ask you. Have people actually reached out to you to like, like, hey, your honesty, your openness has really helped me. I'm also going through this too. Can you talk a little bit about that?
oh, absolutely. That's why one of the main, not only does it help me, but there's other people, when I've got discouraged, I'm like, why even be on here if it's just going to be constant arguing and attacking? It does make my day when I get an email saying, hey, I checked into a rehab, or hey, I relapsed today, and someone needs an ear and they need to lean on somebody. There's tons of that kind of stuff that I get privately or in the chats, and that feels really good, even though obviously I'm not somebody to mentor anybody because I have my own struggles even currently, but it's good to
Right.
have those people to like lean on. And that's what makes it worth it when you see a video pop up of somebody making fun of me dying of an overdose and pounding on heaven's door not being able to get in.
Mm,
Legit have a video out there of that, and I've talked about it and they're like, oh, he's just crying. It's like, dude, what if you're trying
that's
to
an evil,
diet?
sick video. Like, who would do?
Yeah. What
Wow.
if you're trying to go on a diet, or you're trying to, get sober, or you're trying to mourn, or whatever it is, and people are actually attacking you for that? It doesn't feel good to see that. And people are like, oh, just ignore it. And it's like, well, I'm a Gemini. So I like to click, and when I see something, I'm like, what are they saying?
Right.
It's hard.
True. And and also it's weird because like I almost know, everybody has somebody, a family member or a friend that does have an addiction. And I'm all like, do you guys like do the same thing to people that, in your real lives, or like, do you just do this to people on the internet? Like, sometimes you want to know, like, how sick and twisted can you be to make fun of somebody going through addiction and trying to get better and, trying to stay sober? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then they'll say, oh, you're talking about your sobriety just so you could get super chats and all this. I'm like, dude, go over and check what is that website? You can check how much money people make. I'm
Oh,
not on here.
Social Blade.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
not even like that. Coming on here and talking about anything, no matter, even if it's an interest of yours and it's positive, it feels good to get on and share that with people and talk about it. And to me, I'm a huge believer in Christ. And there's so many weird connections that I'm like, whoa, it blows my mind how God works on here. So Satan is on here as well.
Oh yeah, definitely Satan is on there. We know
He's
that
all
for
over
a
the
fact.
place.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heart of Inspiration. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And like I said, I love bringing real content like this, so I appreciate people are liking the interview right now. And I wanted to talk a little bit about your faith, if you don't mind. Like, was this like a recent transition, or like you've always had a relationship with God, I would say?
Well, I grew up, obviously going to church and stuff like that, but I cussed God out. I think I was 13 years old when my uncle died of cancer. And I just said, I don't,
Mhm.
because everybody says, oh, read the Bible or believe this so you don't go to hell. And then I started thinking common sense. I'm like, but I don't want to believe something that somebody's just telling me to do. So I cussed out
Right.
God. I'm like, dude, if you're real, you would actually show me. I'm tired of being told what to do. If not, then I just never want to pray to you again, because I was told to pray. And I kid you not, in the mirror, I got out of the shower and there's a perfect outline of an angel. And I'm like, I wipe it off. Nobody knew I prayed that. I figured, oh, maybe
Mm.
my brother drew something in the mirror. Every day for a month, it was there. And throughout my life, God is so stubborn, and so am I, with taking his time. And he has shown me so many signs like that throughout my life that it's like I start to lose faith because he takes his time answering prayers, and it pisses me
Right.
off because I'm very impatient. But he just has those moments. So my faith, it goes up and down, and it's a dysfunctional relationship on my part. But God is, it doesn't matter if it takes forever. He's always gets
Yeah.
there
He
eventually,
may not
and
come
makes
when
me
you
very
want him, but
thankful.
he always comes on time. Like, that's what I've always been told. So, it is funny that you mentioned that, because like I think we all go through that. Like, yo, you didn't answer this prayer for me. Like, what's going on? And so it's natural to feel that way, but a lot of people wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? I appreciate you saying that. Like, it has been a struggle, but you always find your way. Your way back, and that's why I say, like, your relationship with God, because everybody has their own relationship. Like, yes, there is a Bible, but there's not a certain way to follow. It's within you. It's weird to say, but it's within you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't agree, but I look at the Bible as a cookbook. It's kind of, there's so many
A
good
cookbook.
recipes in there that can guide you through your life and help you.
Oh,
And
I
yeah,
was
like
like, what recipe they got in there?
you got a lot of different recipes. I'm allergic to some of them.
Right, 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 right. And
But no, God is
it.
awesome, and people, they'll try. Sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
but they'll try to make you believe, because I am gay, and people say, "Oh, you're going to hell" or whatever. I can tell you firsthand that throughout my life, when you just have that conviction inside when you do something that's not okay. Any
Hmm.
time in my life, because I used to be very lustful and all of that stuff, that's what feels bad. And I think God puts, like, sin is there kind of as a guardrail on the road. And when you go, you bump into it and you hurt yourself. Oh, okay. Because God wants you to keep on the right path. That's why, people are like, why does God allow me to go through this pain? Well, because it's
Right.
keeping you on the right path. That's what I
It's
believe.
your test as well.
Hmm.
And I wanted to say, Cooter Brown, I had seen your comment. I'm so sorry that happened. She had spoke about someone that had overdosed on from had an addiction as well. So I just wanted to say prayers to you, your friend, and your family as well too. Um,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question as far as Because you said at first, you were closeted and then you came out. Like, how was that journey like coming out and being who you are today?
It was crazy. And you know what's really weird? Okay, this is God right here. So when I came out of the closet, there was an album, and I remember thinking, I'm like, God, the world's never gonna be the same again. I felt like everybody hated me because they were worried, oh, you're gonna get sick, you're gonna get a disease and die from being gay, or you're gonna go to hell. And I just felt really depressed. And I don't know if you remember, but there was a girl group back in early 2000s called Dream. Do you remember them? They sing,
Oh,
he
yeah,
loves
yeah,
me,
they were
he
on
loves
Bad
you not.
Boy.
Yeah, well, that whole album like got me through my hard time. Anyways, the way I found Molly Golightly, she had about 300 subscribers, and I was like, oh, this was a couple years ago. I'm like, I'm going to look up some Dream music. I went to like their reunion tour, and I come back and I'm looking up music videos, and here's Molly Golightly talking about one of the members from Dream, and it kind of came full circle. That's how I found her. But yeah, coming
Wow.
out, that was difficult, especially being like Christian, because then everybody thinks it was almost like they felt bad for me. Not we're mad, but like, oh, you just ruined your life. And I'm like, but I've always been
Wow.
like this, And then you kind of learn how you can be yourself, and you can like relax instead of trying to hide stuff all the time.
Right. And
I
then
agree with you.
I was gonna say too, being gay doesn't like absolve you from being a Christian or a follower of God. So, like, has there been anybody else that you have met just like you? Well, nobody's like you, but anybody that you related to and stuff like that who has gone through the same kind of struggle?
Not really.
Wow.
Because I've lost a lot of gay friends for being a Christian or even a Republican or anything like that. And then you lose Christian friends for being gay. So it's like, I haven't met a lot of people that are like that. And I think a lot of people are scared. I think a lot of people,
Right.
like, in the gay community, uh, kind of turn away from Christianity because they've always been spited. Like, you're bad. And they've been scared and pushed away from God. And that's why I talk openly about it, to show people. And they're like, some people are like, oh, you can actually have a relationship with Christ. It's like, dude, you could have a relationship with Christ sitting in prison. You could have it anywhere.
Right, right, exactly. You can always have a relationship with Christ. Well, speaking of like kind of like not fitting into a box and not kind of go with the status quo and stuff like that. Do you think that's why you've been able to make friends online? Because like in my personal life, there's nobody that does YouTube and stuff like that. Like it's literally just me. And then I met all you weirdos online, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, there are people that's weird just like me. And so I think that's why I do connect to people online and stuff like that. Would you say the same thing?
Yeah. And it's hard because you know what? People will call you. For me, I like to give everybody a chance. And I've been called Switzerland so many times, or I don't know if you've had this, but when you try to give people the benefit of the doubt, people will say, get off the fence. And I'm like, you're the one building the fence. I don't see a fence anywhere. I like to give everyone a chance. So it's hard, especially to make friends on YouTube, just because there's like sides, and I don't see sides. Someone will say, oh, the other side is this. And I'm like, what's the other side? I don't get what you're talking about. And I've
Right.
talked to so many different people that don't get along. And even that can get you in trouble, because then people get mad at you. And a
Yeah,
lot of people think that's the reason I got mad at Molly Golightly, but it's not. There's been lots of different stuff that I can keep private, but the recent
right.
stuff is just the cherry on top.
Yeah, it was like the cherry on top, and that's why. It's not like you want to control anybody or tell them what to do or anything like that. It was just all like this was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say.
You bet your ass on that one.
And thank you, Janie, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Kind of going back into that, do you think that you'll ever be at peace or have a relationship with her again, or do you think like at this point you go your way, I go my way, kind of thing, or?
Never. Just kidding. No, I'm a forgiving person because, you know, Christ forgives me anytime I've done anything horrible or terrible. So of course I am. But the older I'm getting, I'm going to be 40 next year. And the older I'm getting, like, you know how you make up with people and then it just kind of repeats and repeats. It's kind of happened that way in this situation. So of course I can be at peace about it. And she is a decent, good person, you know, in many different ways. But as far as having a friendship, I'm okay with just being like you said, you go that way and I'll go this way. Because
Right,
it's just
right.
easier that way. And it's like a burden of weight has been lifted.
I agree with that too, because like there's people that I've had falling outs with on YouTube, and I'm happy that we're having this conversation right now because there are a lot of people that feel like, hey, I want to start a YouTube, but I see everything that you guys go through and stuff like that, and they be like, I would never want to go through that. Like I hate doing this. And I feel like, damn, is it that bad? And so, you know, looking at it from an outsider's perspective, yeah, it is kind of bad, but there are so many like good moments that come from it and people that I would never have ever met if I wasn't doing this. So it is a blessing in disguise. Like what advice would you give like people who want to start a YouTube channel or are thinking about, you know, getting into this?
I'd say when you do it, stick to what you started it for. Because if you look at my very, very first video, it was talking about being a gay Christian. And I, you know, talked about a lot of stuff that I do now, but it was zero drama. And then I was looking back, I was like, where did this all begin? There's this one video, I think like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like being all like nice. I was like, because I started getting haters for no reason. And I was like, I'm not going to partake in your drama and your stuff. I don't want to be a part of it. And I was very polite. And then it just went down
Yeah.
from there.
You know, it's
I would
funny
say
'cause-
don't even give in to the drama because you will get sucked in. And
right.
with me, I don't want to shut my mouth once I get in there.
Once you get in there, there's no holding back at that point, you know. But it's funny that you mentioned that because like I kind of think like, how the hell did I even get to this point? Like where did this all go wrong? Like, but it's a part of your journey. Like I don't regret it at all. I feel like it's a part of your journey. And so I went through this and finally, you know, I'm able to help out other people. Like now I gave myself the nickname, the Godfather of YouTube. And so now I try to go around blessing people and letting them know like, hey, you ain't got to do this. You don't have to go because there's this new trend of going live and especially be in the circle. Like I did in my other video yesterday. Thank you, Miss Joelle, but be in the circle and doing like a 10-hour live, just yelling, screaming and cussing the whole time. I'm all like, yo, more than likely, nobody knows what's going on, and you're just like yelling, screaming, and doing all this ridiculous shit, and people are laughing at you. They're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. And so I try to give people advice. Now, most of the time they don't take it, but the few they do, you know, take my advice. So I definitely that's kind of like my way of giving back to people. And, you know, I've only been doing this for over a year, but this is kind of like my way of giving back to the smaller content creators by trying to, you know, give them pointers because nobody took me in and kind of took me under their wing, you know?
Yeah. Well, and plus you get people, one thing that I'm learning to do that has been difficult, because you know, it's like working out a muscle being on here. There's things you learn about yourself, like, oh wow, I'm weak in this area, or I need to work on this. One thing that still annoys me and I'm working on is like seeing people saying stuff that is like a complete misconception about me. And it's hard to like keep your mouth shut because you're like, dude, that is not true. But I'm learning to just let people think that kind of stuff and not having to prove anything because, you know yourself, I know mine, but it is frustrating when you see something, you're like, oh, that is not true.
I'm just like, make the joke. I don't care if you talk about me, just make the joke funny. Like, make sure the joke is funny, make sure it lands. Like, if it's just like malicious, I don't like that. But if it's some funny, like, I don't mind it. Like, when people say, like, oh, AT2 is always begging for money. So every time I get on here, I'll be like, oh, make sure you guys drop some because you know I'm always begging, you know, like the little kind of the funny stuff like that. Like, I love that. Like, that entertains me. But anything like you want to talk about my family and stuff like that, that's off limits. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there are some videos about me, even hate videos, that are funny and I've laughed at them. And then there's some, it's all about your intention. Of course, parody is funny and all that kind of stuff, and it's all in good fun. And then you can tell the difference between somebody just being completely hateful and vindictive. And then, you know, and one thing, there's a lot of people that I've realized not to get like offended, because you realize they're like cuckoo and they don't realize logic and stuff. And you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. Just let them do whatever.
Right, right, right. You're right about that. Kind of one of my questions that I wanted to kind of finish the interview out with is, where do you see your channel going, and like, you know, your journey with sobriety? Like, do you think that you might do like panels with other people and kind of like, I don't want to say help people, because you already said, like, you know, necessarily you might not be the right person to help them, but like, where do you see your channel going? And then with your sobriety, your journey with that, like, where do you see it going in the future?
To hell in a handbasket. I'm just kidding. Well, I just look, I mean, it helps me. I can say, like I was saying earlier, that coming on here a few years ago, and, you know, I would have my everyday life. And then on my weekends was when the problem, you know, I have time off, I can do this, I can. And so for me personally, it's like been like a building muscles in my sobriety, even though it's not complete, even though I don't completely not drink anymore. Well, I do right now, but who knows if I'd have cocktails again. It's been working my muscles out. So I hope that just by me talking about that and just showing people how it works, you know, there's ups and there's downs. Like I said, people message me and say, oh, I relapsed, or I want to relapse, or whatever. And it's a system of like leaning on people. I even started a Facebook group for sobriety, not just for people that are going through it themselves, but for people that deal with family members, because it affects the people around me probably worse than it's ever affected me. So I just hope that by working out my muscles, it just continues to be like a community of tons of different people that can lean on each other. That's what I want. And I like to laugh a lot on my channel. I know there's like some times where I'm like, but I like to be goofy. You know, when I'm hyper is one of the best times I love to log in, because I just like to poke and, you know.
Right.
Laugh.
You're a character. We're all characters on here. That's why people watch us.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's fun to be a little bit over the top sometimes, and, you know, not take yourself too seriously. And like I said, I'm learning to not take other people too seriously, because some people just simply want content to show others.
Right. And the way you kind of shit on the haters a little bit is just showing them that you're smiling and show off your success, basically. You know, that's how you kind of get over it. That, at least that's what I do.
Yeah, I mean, there's one channel in particular that literally you'll look at it and there's nothing else but me on there. And then they'll call me a stalker. He's looking at my channel again. I'm like, the whole channel is me. I'm not stalking you. It's coming up in my algorithm.
Right.
It's crazy.
Because if you type in your name, you see that video and you're kind of like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, or you don't, sometimes you just go into your algorithm and, you know, they'll tag you in community posts or whatever. And so when people always tell me, my mom could barely watch me anymore. They always tell me, stop clicking on this stuff. Stop looking at it, out of sight, out of mind. And that's so true. But it's hard when it's like right there in your face, you know. It's like when I'm going on a diet or something and there's that treat and you're just,
and
like,
it's always the ugliest picture they use when you're looking like, and you're like, come on now. Like, there's tons of pictures on my Instagram that you can use. Like, don't use the one where I'm like mid-sentence, like, and like you take that and put that.
Well, like you're adorable. You have a great face. You have a great voice. You're very presentable on here.
Thank you.
Yeah, people will do that. They'll find like your ugliest moments. And then, like you said, they have this and they won't even have a picture of themselves. It is like a picture of a flower or like a teddy bear. And here their avatar is all cute and sweet. And here they are cussing people out, saying how ugly you are and stuff. But really, it's like you're a punching bag. It's just like when you go to a restaurant, or let's say you go to the grocery store and somebody messed something up. And the first person you see in uniform with the name tag, that's the person you want to yell at, you know, because you just want someone to yell at. And so we
Exactly.
really, you know what we should do? We should make merch punching bags.
Right.
I'm sure the trolls would eat that right up.
Right. Hopefully they buy it too. Thank you, Navy Vet. I appreciate that. My youngest brother is an alcoholic and has already had 2 strokes. I've already lost one brother. Oh no, I'm sorry about that. My condolences, definitely. And thank you for being so open and honest and sharing your story. I
Sorry,
appreciate
Navy
that.
Vet.
Yeah, and what it is that people, because I kind of have a fear of like opening it up, but because of what we do, we happen to open up on camera all the time, and so I appreciate everyone that reaches out to me and just be like, hey, just like last week when I had the whole like, I'm not doing nothing about drama or nothing. I'm talking about myself, and this is what's going on, and I need a therapist, and they're telling me December 16th is the next time I'm gonna get a therapist, and I'm gonna tell y'all about it. And so just having people show me so much love, reached out to me and was all like, hey, I'm going through the same thing, or use this website for resources to get you help and stuff like that. It's just so dope. So when you were talking about people that said they might have relapsed or they're thinking about relapse and stuff like that, that really hit me because this week I was going through such a rough time and stuff like that. And so I appreciate you talking about that.
Yeah, and see there it is like a, it's not just like a community just to be like, oh, like my channel or whatever. There's actual people that really come on here that are hurting. Um, I'm sure you have days where you come on and you're sad or whatever, and people
Mhm.
just cheer you up. And that's what it's about. It's not about using a name of some dead child that's missing or something to come on here and click and click and click, because people can click, like, subscribe all they want to, but if you have a channel full of just people subscribing just to hate you or whatever, I'm not interested in that. There's no money worth being that miserable ever.
Right. Right. It's definitely not worth it. We just want to entertain and bring joy to the people. We don't want to hurt nobody. We ain't trying to scam nobody out here. We just want to entertain. That's it.
Yeah, and I like we started doing this thing. It was almost a year ago now, where I did this with my friends because I love my intuition and I always trust it. And I was like, let's test my intuition. We started doing it, and I was like, you have to pick the first thing that comes to mind. Whatever you feel with somebody. I've had people email me. They're like, this one lady in particular, because I do like test my intuition, and people love those kind of live streams. I told
Hmm.
this person one time, I said, the first thing that I'm seeing is video games, like a video game junkie or like an addiction to video games. This person emails me and says, I've been married, I think 17 years, and the addiction to video games has ruined our marriage and we're getting a divorce. And I've had people like email me. So we do a lot of intuition and card readings on my channel and stuff. We have fun.
Wow, that's
So
funny.
there's
I like
tons of
that.
good
I
stuff.
like that. And it gives something new. It's different.
Like, for example, test your intuition with me. You have to pick don't even think about it, no matter how bad or good it is, what comes to mind.
Right now, what I'm getting, hold on, because my third eye tell me a lot. Hold on, let me lift up my hat.
Okay.
Okay.
You
Right
guys in
now,
the
it's
chat too, test your intuition.
right now it's telling me that you think that this interview is dope as hell and you're happy that you came on my show.
That's very true. That is
Eh,
very true. And this is weird. The first thing that's coming to mind with me is like a child's plastic slide and like bumping a head or something. That's the first thing that came to mind. Some
oh,
people, they'll be like, oh, so weird, but you can't. It has to be the first thing that pops into your mind.
okay, the first thing. Okay, okay. Maybe the
Mhm.
red shirt, maybe like a red slide. Maybe that's what you're.
No, it's like a small children's slide.
Oh,
Almost like the one that's in the backyard of the Watts house.
oh, oh Lord. But Robbie, go ahead and give the people your information where they can find you at, and as far as Instagram, Facebook or YouTube.
Well, I'm on Instagram and I'll get inboxes, but I always forget that there's an inbox on Twitter and all those. So I'll post on there, but I never really check those. Facebook I'll check a little bit more, but it's usually just YouTube, or if people want to reach out to me, my email. And my friend Locomai helps me with my emails because sometimes it's like there's a lot.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
awesome.
saverobbie.1982@gmail.com. And then I'm Save Robbie on Facebook and all the other ones. But I'm always on YouTube. I'm in chats all the time, and I'm mostly in chats if I'm not live, and just exploring and getting to know people and trolling. Just kidding. I don't
And
troll.
troll. And I troll from my own account.
There is a fake Save Robbie. You experienced that today going around.
Yes.
So,
and I'm so happy because like I totally forgot that this was going on. So the fake
there it is.
Robbie had left a comment and said, sorry, but gonna have to cancel the interview. And then I'm like thinking, well, first of all, shout out to Queen because she was like, oh no, I'm hoping everything is okay because I purchased wine and snacks for tonight. But you know, I was getting messages all like, he canceled the interview, he canceled the interview. And I was all like, I just can't imagine that he canceled the interview when he has my phone number. Like, I was like, let me go look at it. So I looked at it, clicked on it, and if you see on the left side, that's where you see it says no subscribers. I was like, fake account.
Look what, hey, Pretty with Pistols. Pretty with Pistols said, that's about me. My granddaughter bumped her head today in the backyard. Blue slide. No joke. You must. I do miss you. That's crazy though.
Oh,
I met Pretty with Pistols when we did the meet and greet thing in Denver.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
See, and those relationships you still have till to this day, you know?
Yeah, that's why when people could, there was a comment the other day and someone's like, you'll never make real friends on here. You're fake and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but you're behind an avatar. You're fake. You may not like what you see when I come on, but this crazy right here, this is all real. This is all real craziness.
I'm not hiding behind a disguise or a mask or anything like that. I'm me at the end of the day. And, you know, I think with those people that hide behind the avatars and create this fake facade, they're jealous of people like us that can be ourselves, you know?
Yeah. And just so you know, guys, if you ever see some weird comments, like, because Iris even said the fake me messaged her, if you ever see me wanting to come up on panel or whatever, you should probably email me first, because I don't go into chats and say cuss people out. I usually, unfortunately, do it with my mouth.
Right. So. All right, Robbie, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a great interview. Man, like we talked about so much. Like there's probably like gonna be some questions like after this video ends, but I just appreciate you for coming on, being so open and honest, and hopefully your story can motivate or even help someone through their struggles, what's going on. New YouTubers, people that are just starting out or want to do YouTube, hopefully they got some advice from both of us, and you know, it can definitely help them with their channel and they know what to avoid and people to avoid too, you know?
Oh, and I'm sure people will message you after this and say, avoid him. He's crazy. I saw him on your channel. You're going to get all the trolls. But it's okay. I'm sure I'll get some of yours too. And we'll just, you know, have a laugh.
Yo, I want to say one more thing. Can you do your impersonation, Tara Nicole? The lady, the cigarette lady, because she came on my channel, right? And the people terrorized her in my chat. And they're all like, yo, she sounds like she smoked 10 cigarettes. 10 packs of cigarettes. And I remember you did your impersonation, and that was the funniest shit ever. Shout out to Tara. It ain't no hard feelings.
I'm going to have to turn off my camera so I can get close to my mic. Okay. But she's like, hey, you beautiful bitches. And her voice is always, the thing about her, she always sounds tired, but that's another one I've never met her. And she's like, boo boo, honey baby. And she's like, she always calls people honey. That irritates me when people do that. They'll call you a really sweet name when they're angry at you. It's like, just call me a bitch. But that's one person I would be interested in talking to, is her, because I have watched her and she seems like she could be a decent, nice person. But I've never met her. And she's one of those people that's consistently tagged me. And then she made another video and she was like, okay, here's the deal. I'm never going to talk about you again. It's like, you're talking about me right now. You're doing it right now. But I would be very interested to talk to her, and I would be willing, because she does have some cute, nice qualities, but I think she needs to lay off talking about people she doesn't know. Have you ever logged into your channel and just started talking about, oh, look at this person? And I can't understand that because you don't know them. Hey, Van.
Right, right. And you know what the funny part is? Is like I didn't really get off on the right foot with her originally. And so after she had came on my channel one day and she was got on the StreamYard and was all like, "Yeah, did you see what this guy said about you?" And da 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 da. And I was all like, "Wait, are we friends all of a sudden?" But I think what it is that sometimes when you're first starting out, because she's still new, when you're first starting out, you just kind of follow a trend. And I think she's following behind someone, wink, wink. She's following behind someone and she's all like, "Oh, I got to copy what they do." And so you're just kind of like collateral damage almost.
Yeah. And with me, and I say this all the time, I've said it to BX, I've said it to her. If you have an issue, I have no problem, even if you email me and cuss me out, but talking about it and communicating to me, I respond better if you go directly to me. When you make a video and I've never spoke to you, that's what really is like confusing, because I'll be like, let's say they're talking about you. AT2 is a terrible person and he's a e-bagger, he's this or he's that. And you're sitting here, you're like, wow, I didn't know that about myself. Or they'll say they're in a secret and these people plan their fights and stuff. I'm like, I wish these were fake fights because then my heart rate wouldn't go up and my blood pressure and I wouldn't have anxiety.
Right. Because I don't fake the drama. Like I don't try to fake it at all. Like my thing is like it might be over exaggerated, like, in real life what I care about what somebody said, but I never be all like, "Oh, we gonna fight about this today." I never would play with people's emotions like that,
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do a scripted thing and let everybody know, hey, we're doing a scripted drama channel or whatever, I would totally be down for that because I love acting. And I
like
love
a parody or
people.
something, that would be funny as hell.
We should totally start tons of creators, just a fake reality show where people can get their fix for drama, but not actually have hatred in their heart.
Right. I would totally be down for that. Like that's hella funny. I even know who we can do a parody of, and people probably would guess too. "Hello, you beautiful bitches."
Or I think sometimes
Perfect
she
person.
says sexy bitches.
Oh yeah.
I don't like I it's not even to be mean, but it's like she said so much stuff about me and I've never ever spoke to her, but she has come in my chat and is like, you're this or you're that. I'm like, well, come on up and talk to me. We could talk it out because she's kind of funny sometimes. We can laugh together or whatever. But you just got to stop being a dick. That's all you got to do.
And she can take the heat too. Like she's not afraid to take the heat. Like she can totally take it. So I mean, I think that's one person you should definitely have a conversation with. I would say it would be worth it.
Yeah, I would really like to actually, because there's a lot of people that I've started off not liking, or maybe they haven't liked me. And like Natasha Cooper, we started off on the wrong foot and we're good friends now.
Oh, so okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I could talk through anything with anyone. It's just, you got to communicate.
Right. So, just hit me up in my DM. Let me know what's going on. Like it doesn't always have to be like this back and forth, back and forth. Like you can talk to me. I'm a real person, sometimes I don't want to do the back end. Well, sometimes people don't want to communicate because they want to do the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But honestly, I don't want to keep doing that. I might do it once, but I'm not trying to do 10 videos after each other. Like, come on now. People get bored with that,
Exactly. Unless you're going to script it and make a darn good fake reality show, then I'd be interested.
Right.
But other than that, no, I'm not interested.
Right. And we need to hit up
thank you.
Bravo, MTV, VH1 and see if they'll, lock all these YouTubers in a house and then let us fight or, do whatever. Like, I think that would be a dope. I would be down. I'll sign up for that.
Before we go, who would be like your 7? You know how they usually have like 7 people. Who would be the people you'd put in there?
Oh,
definitely Molly Golightly because she's very,
yeah. You know what? I would have to think about that. I would honestly have to think about that because like I did have people in my head, but like there's so many different characters and like I've encountered some crazy ass people.
Yeah. Some people you're like, okay, no, I don't want to be in a house with them. I don't even want to be in the same state. or country as them.
Right. Because they're that cuckoo crazy. It would be well, hell, like I'm gonna do a short answer. Tara Nicole. I would love to be in a house with her. I think she would be hilarious. I think she is fun.
Yeah, and she does have a personality that sometimes, you know, she'll be playing in the background and I'll just listen to her. It's like peaceful to listen to her talking trash about me in the background. Because her voice is very calm.
Yeah, very calm, man. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to hear her too, but you know, she's a character. You know, she's funny.
Yeah, everybody does deserve to be on here. And you know, even though I don't strike people anymore. I'm not doing that. It's not worth it. Because before I'm like, they're making fun of me or this is upsetting me and they're using my content. But I've learned that doesn't work. And, you know, it just makes people more mad. And you got to let people have their platform. And if they're not willing to communicate, you got to move on. That's what I have to do anyways.
Right. Just cut them off, cut them loose. You know, sometimes it's not even worth the battle or anything like that. Just like, you know, whatever. But Robbie, thank you so much for coming on. I do want to say I appreciate you for hanging out with us. Hopefully I didn't take too much of your time. I don't know if you had a show or not tonight.
No, I'm actually recording for my Patreon. We're doing a Siren Jag is sharing his paranormal experiences. So we're going to record that after I get off of here.
Oh, awesome. What is your Patreon?
It's like I do podcasts in there, but we're starting to do spooky stuff because it's getting closer to Halloween. So,
okay,
I like spooky stuff all year round. Like, I don't know if you saw, I'm a huge Scream fan, but the new Scream movie, just the trailer dropped today. I was like,
yes, I seen you posted that.
Yes.
And I love the Scream movies too.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'd love to have another stream together. You're awesome. I watched when you hooked the sisters up, the long lost sisters.
Oh, yes.
That was cool. So, but
yeah,
thank you for having me on.
I appreciate that. And of course, thank you for coming on the show today. Make sure you guys check them out and we'll be back together. We'll do more streams together. You know, we're definitely going to collaborate. So I appreciate you for coming on and good night, you guys.
Thank you very much.